Hello everyone, I'm back, my Look At series has returned, and you know what? I'm not even going to waste time getting an intro, because I promised you all what I would say, and now we're going to get right to it. So, let's get started. Batman vs. Darth Vader. This is probably one of the most peculiar beatdowns that I've ever seen. A lot of people are calling this a mismatch. For what reason, I don't know, but I think I can understand. Now, some people have said that Darth Vader will win this fight with no problem. Well, I don't think so. Now, I agree with you on that, but here's the thing. I am a hardcore specialist of both these characters. I know more about them than probably most of you do. That's not to say your knowledge isn't worthless. You know what you know. It's not your fault. And a lot of people did get some of their facts right from what they saw in the movies. But if you really want to know in depth about how powerful he is, then I'm here to explain that, because that's the point of this. We're going to talk about both Batman and Darth Vader's feats, attributes, powers, and their skill sets. So, let's get started. We're going to start with Darth Vader because I think everyone deserves to know how powerful he is, and how I agree how he could just crush Batman with no problem. So, let's get started. Now, Darth Vader stood over 6 feet tall in his cybernetic suit. Now, as confirmed as this is on StarWars.com, Darth Vader only had access to 3 of his living limbs, but he still was able to access the Force in ways even more powerful than he was as Anakin Skywalker. Now, for this fight, I assume we're talking about Darth Vader in his Episode 5 and Episode 6 Prime, which that is the one we will be using. As Episode 4 Darth Vader, we will not be talking about, because Episode 4 Darth Vader was still weak, and he was still not getting used to the suit, and of course, he was a bit clumsy, and he was also described as a shadow of Anakin Skywalker. So, let's get started. Now, we're going to be talking about his dueling styles, and then we'll get to his Force abilities last, and of course, we'll talk about some of his feats, what he's accomplished. Now then, the main form he uses, and that he used as Anakin Skywalker, is Form 5 GMSO. Now, Form 5 granted the user superhuman strength and speed, turning the best defense into the best offense. And this form was probably the most powerful. It granted him such raw power. And if you saw Episode 3, or if you read the novel, Dooku described Anakin moving faster than a speed of a blur. All he could see was just the blue lightsaber. Now, he still uses Form 5, because Form 5 did not diminish his mobility. In fact, it even made him more stronger. How stronger, you may ask? Well, his suit enabled him more strength than he ever had. In one moment, he was able to crush a door with nothing but his hands by the bridges of it. Or one best example, where he was able to beat a Jedi into submission with nothing but his bare hands, using his suit's superhuman strength. That's how strong he was, and Form 5 GMSO and plus his suit granted him even superhuman strength than we can imagine. And it's amazing, because he was described to most Jedi as nothing but a powerhouse. Now, his other forms are Surisu, which he uses to protect his suit, because one of his weaknesses is his main control panel. It's not his helmet. In fact, the control panel is able to control his oxygen. He can take off the helmet, and he can survive without the suit for only a limited time. But, however, despite what Bat in the Sun and everyone else thinks, he cannot use Force Lightning. I'm going to get that out of the way. He cannot use Force Lightning, because, as described on StarWars.com and Silent Bat, Vader had the knowledge of Force Lightning, but, however, due to his suit, every time, or if he were to use it, it would disable his suit and cause him more pain than his opponent, pretty much losing him the fight. So, no Force Lightning. I'm sorry, I know all of you thought he could use it, but he can't, so sorry. Vader also inputted Makashi, which was the form that Count Dooku used on him as Anakin Skywalker on their many fights. And Makashi is probably the purest lightsaber form of all of the forms. It rivals that. It's actually like fencing. pretty much guaranteeing so many quick killing blows in just a single second. It's that good, and it's that effective, and he actually used this at the beginning of the Jedi Purge, pretty much defeating 2 Jedi at the same time with 2 stabbing motions. It's pretty impressive, actually. His other form is Juyo, which actually taps into his new rage and Fom power, and it actually makes him an offensive dervish, pretty much described by all of the Jedi who have faced him. He's been shown, let me fix that here, sorry. He has been shown to just be so damn powerful that he could crush a rock, given the chance. So yeah, those are the forms he studies in. Now, interestingly enough, he inputted all those forms at once, guaranteeing a victory whoever he fought. He could go into an offensive or defensive position. When he was in an offensive position, he was nothing more than a damn tank, just plummeting through all of his opponents in just one single minute. Or, if the fight was to go on longer, he would gain the upper hand. Now, his defense was actually described as him being nothing but an immovable object. What he would do, if he wanted to go into a defensive position, he would grab his hands around his lightsaber and just become an immovable object. No matter how much you tried, you could not get him to retreat on 1 foot. Now, let's get to his Force abilities. Now, his Force abilities are actually the things that make him even stronger. He is an advanced user of telekinesis, as shown as his fight with Luke Skywalker on Bespin, able to hurl at least 5, maybe 10 objects at him without having to break his lightsaber sequence. And he was even able to input fear into young Luke while doing this. It's amazing, actually. He's also an advanced user of Force Choke, which he's able to pretty much use it when he's around an opponent or not around an opponent. He was even able to use it to crush internal organs. At the beginning of the Jedi Purge, while he was interrogating a Jedi, when the Jedi wouldn't talk, he used the Force to crush his organ and still keep him alive. And the pain was excruciating, the Jedi said, and he finally confessed. And Vader still kept him alive. He also has the ability of the Beast Mind tactic, which he's able to influence beasts to be under his control, as seen in the Jedi at the beginning of the Jedi Purge and in Star Wars Episode 2 at the Geonosian Arena as Anakin Skywalker. He has also studied in Tutaminis. Now, as described in the Jedi Path, Tutaminis is a pretty powerful Force form that allows the user to absorb or even take anything. Now, it's only limited to lightsabers. Yes, lightsabers, force lightning, blaster bolts, smoke, missiles, fire, anything. Now, Vader is only limited to blaster bolts. He cannot absorb force lightning because that is way beyond his use, and his suit will not allow it. He cannot own, and no absorbing lightsabers either. Now, and also, he was pretty much a master of the Dumash tactic, which he used on on Luke Skywalker in Episode 6, being able to tap into his fears and finding out that Luke has a twin sister. And he even threatened to make her join the dark side and even vowed to hurt her to get her to join the dark side. But this was a bad idea. He also had the ability of telepathy, being able to break into the minds of Boba Fett and Luke, as I said. Now, Vader's feats, let's get to them. Now, Vader's feats, he doesn't have that many feats, but he has been known to attain a small level of agility, pretty much being in one scene where he's in an ancient temple and there's a death trap, and he leaps over about 5 feet in the air in a speedy motion and landing perfectly. He was also able to beat people into submission with nothing but his superhuman strength, and he is just probably one of the most collective and powerful lightsaber duelists you will ever meet, because his offensive and defensive are that damn good. So yes, that is Darth Vader. Now let's get to Batman. Now I don't have much to say about Batman, but here's what I know and everyone else knows. Now Batman stands around over 6 feet tall. He weighs around 230 pounds. he knows 127 martial arts. This includes Earth martial arts and alien martial arts. He's able to pretty much defeat anybody, given enough prep time. He's even able to best metahumans in a match. He has great aim, reflexes, a master detective, a ventriloquist, and a daring escape artist. And Batman is probably known as the world's greatest detective, being given that title to not only many others, but even being given to by Sherlock Holmes himself. Batman can memorize the smallest detail. He's able to solve crimes that no one else can, and it's amazing. And they're even unsolvable. He invades near-death experiences. He defeated Superman and the Justice League. Now, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Now, I want to say that Batman's gadgets, they're all pretty much the standard batarang, grappling hook, smoke pellets, kryptonite ring, bombs, grappling hooks. That's pretty much it. He has a lot of gadgets at his disposal. Now, so yeah, his weaknesses are he's not invincible. He cannot survive. Well, actually, no. He has died at one point. Now, I'm going to get close to the camera. He has died at one point. He was disintegrated by Darkseid in Final Crisis, I believe it was. And he was stranded in the past as a nuclear time bomb. But his feats, however, are pretty amazing. Especially one feat in particular. He's able to survive in the vacuum of space for 27 seconds. That's more than the average body can take. Now, Batman is, of course, pushed himself to the physical limits of the human body. He actually, too, has feats of superhuman strength. So that's how he's able to match Superman and many other users of superhuman strength. Now then, let's get to how the fight would play out and who I think is going to win. Now, the fight would play out, because they are giving Batman a lightsaber. It would play out where Batman enters the Death Star, Darth Vader senses him, and Batman starts off in an offensive attack. Vader ignites his lightsaber, and Batman starts throwing every gadget he can think of at Darth Vader, while Darth Vader will either use telekinesis or Tutaminis to either throw them or absorb them. So pretty much Batman's gadgets will be useless in this manner. However, if he's able to throw explosive battering at Vader's chest, that could put him down for the count, but I doubt it. Now, Batman desperately will try to... Vader will give him a lightsaber, and he'll ignite it, and they will go back to back. And Batman is just trying to get Vader off his guard, but Vader is just an immovable object. He's not moving. So Batman tries everything he can to get him down, while Darth Vader is able to use telepathy and the Dumash tactic to get into Batman's mind and try and convince him that he failed his parents, trying to put fear in him and try and cost him the battle. And Batman will eventually fall for it, and he will be down for a quick second, and Vader will instantly either delivering a quick killing blow from Akashi or a devastating blow from Form 5 GM. So the winner, I think, will be Darth Vader. Now, however, before any of you say I'm quickly jumping off Batman, let me explain. I do think Batman will win also, given enough prep time, and because Batman can find any weakness if given the right time. However, Darth Vader is an immovable object. It depends if Darth Vader goes on the offensive or the defensive. Now, if Darth Vader goes on the offensive, Batman has to try and outmaneuver him, which this will be easy as heck, because Darth Vader's lack of mobility is pretty much useless. Now, however, if Batman were able to push Darth Vader back in to offensive matter, Batman would pretty much plant an explosive on his control pass, and he would win. So, what boils down is to how you think of it. I think neither man could win. Neither man could win. So, I think it depends on your point of view. So, yes, that is my look at. I'm happy to do it again. So let me know if you enjoyed it. What are your thoughts? Who do you think will win? Let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe. And join me next time for Kick-Ass vs. Casey Jones. Take care, guys.